6 months ago, I played Elden Ring for the very first time and made two videos. One about my first experience with a Souls game, and one about the film adaptation and why I believed fans had a reason to be optimistic. At the time, my conclusion was fairly simple. Garland is a lifelong gamer and a massive fan of From Software. And on top of that, this did not begin like usual adaptations where a studio has the license to an IP and they try to find a filmmaker to make them some money. In this particular case, Garland initiated everything and made it happen through passion and through initiative. This to me was great news. It reminded me a bit of Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy or Denis Villeneuve with Dune, where a filmmaker already has true passion for the source material and they are the one that's going to bring it to life. Since then, I played Shadow of the Erdtree DLC and just in general been contemplating Elden Ring and also contemplating Garland's career. And after doing that, I've come to have a new appreciation and a new sense of excitement for this adaptation. Not just because he's a fan, but because the relationship between Garland and Elden Ring seems to be even deeper than I could have imagined. So, let's get into it. But first, I want to give a disclaimer that this is not a theory video. This is not me saying that I figured out the plot of the film, I know what character we're going to follow. Nothing like that. This is more so my musings, my understanding that there is a philosophical overlap between Garland's work and Elden Ring, and to me, understanding that is the key to understanding why this adaptation even exists in the first place. So, what do us fans really want in an adaptation? I've been thinking a lot about adaptation lately, and in this particular case, I think we want more than just accuracy, superficial accuracy. What I mean by that is an armor that we recognize, a character we recognize, a location we recognize. In the film, maybe a boss fight will look exactly like the game. Things like that are awesome. It gets us nerds really excited, but at the end of the day, that's not what we want. We want meaningful understanding of the source material. So, what is Elden Ring? From my perspective, Elden Ring is about truth. Elden Ring is obsessed with the pursuit of truth, of reality. After I started to really go down that deep dive of understanding the lore and in Shadow of the Erdtree completely recontextualizing everything I thought I knew, you are filled with questions. Who is right? Who is wrong? What is the right path forward? How do you end the suffering? Or is suffering of simply a natural order of the cosmos? So many things, and at the beginning of the game, you start to think that all these different factions, Miquella, Ranni, Marika, the Golden Order, the Frenzy Flame, the list goes on. You start to think these are all characters or factions that are competing for power. But the more you think about it, the more you learn, the more you realize that these are competing philosophies. Philosophies to how to fix the world or how to just proceed forward with understanding the reality and understanding our place in this world. Essentially, existentialism. To me, that is Elden Ring, the pursuit of meaning and understanding in this unknowable universe. And when I realized that, I began looking at Alex Garland's career in a very specific lens now. And when I did that, I found a very distinct pattern. On the surface, Garland's work looks incredibly varied, or you could simplify it and say he's just a sci-fi director, because he has done a lot of sci-fi, and usually sci-fi deals with a very specific question, which is, what does it mean to be human? But I think when you look at the large body of work, Garland's sci-fi, his political thriller, his psychological horror, his post-apocalyptic films, they all deal with existentialism. They all deal with some sort of understanding of reality or a recontextualization of reality. Garland uses genre cinema to tackle these questions. Questions about free will, self-destruction, technology, power, systems and institutions that shape our own understanding of reality. And usually it's a character coming into conflict with it, coming into some sort of confrontation where they need to reassess and accept reality on some level, whether it's for better or worse. And Garland himself, like Miyazaki, does not provide answers. As he puts it, he likes to contribute to a conversation. He does not tell you how to think, he simply provides his perspective. And to me, that sounds an awful lot like Elden Ring, giving you a bunch of perspectives and letting you, the audience, step forward and interact with the narrative. And the more I think about it, the more I realize the lands between is perfect for Garland. Not just because of demigods, not just because of the cinematic possibilities of spectacle and scope, but because of the ideas, because of the philosophical terrain that Elden Ring is already exploring. That is exactly what Garland is doing as well when you look at his career. And the reason why that excites me greatly and why I think that's such a great thing is because, in my estimation, there's so many adaptations, whether it's books, comic books, games, whatever. It's usually a filmmaker who already has their own story they want to tell, and they try to change the source material to tell that particular story. A lot of great adaptations have made that work, but at the same time, there's also a lot of bad adaptations that it just completely falls flat, and a lot of us fans feel like you did not understand what the source material was trying to do originally. And these filmmakers try to make it mature, recontextualize it. They try to deconstruct it and make it something it's not. I could see a fan getting worried like, oh, there's this extremely artsy director that's going to handle my IP. Yes, he's talented, but he's probably going to try to change it. And I feel like in this particular case, I don't think that issue is present here because there is a perfect synergy between the stories, the types of stories that Garland wants to tell, and what Elden Ring is at its core. So it seems like this is just literally a match made in heaven. And I just really can't wait to see the film, of course. I can't wait to see a first look, a trailer to know exactly what the story will be, which is all very exciting. But right now I'm more excited, or I'm more, I guess, maybe not more excited, but I'm more curious about what exactly Garland sees in it. I would think maybe I'm right that this is exactly what Garland saw in it, but it's entirely possible that he has a very different perspective than me, and maybe he sees something else in Elden Ring that I do not see. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what conversation you think Garland wants to contribute to through Elden Ring, and let me know your thoughts on my thoughts, and thanks for watching.